Hello, Leo. This is your reading for the week of October 19th through 25th. We're going to open up the energy of the reading today with the Rabbit Spirit. It says, now is a lucky time. Beautiful. I think we need as much luck as we can get. If you believe in luck, I think we create our own luck. Well, let's see what the cards say. Yeah. Well, let's keep this Rabbit Spirit in mind as we go through the Rider-Waite and we do our Dove and Serpent spread. Leo, again, this is for October 19th through 25th. High Priestess. Listening to that intuition, okay, that's going to be the important part of the week. Your inner guidance, right, is coming through. Yeah, because there's an Eight of Swords, because there is perhaps a situation that we're not seeing clearly right now, or maybe we're not really seeing the way out. We've got to listen to our gut. We've got a Four of Wands as well. We've got the Lover's card. We have an Eight of Pentacles. We have a Three of Pentacles. We have a Five of Wands as well. We have an Emperor energy. The Emperor is in the building here. An Ace of Wands and a Hanged Man. Okay. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're just, we're going to set, how about this top one, right here with our little Tibetan prayer wheel right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, Leo, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments below the video. All right, let's look around the room here. We see major, 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 major. Okay, good amount of major arcana. We, of course, have our fire energies, good fire. We don't have really any water now. The Hanged Man, though, is a very watery card. It kind of represents pure water, okay? We have air, and that's the issue, right there in the middle. That's going to be, you know, maybe this feeling of confusion. It may be a feeling of sort of, you know, a helplessness where mentally we can't figure a way out, or we can't see the way out of a situation. Your intuition is going to guide you, however. And we also have our earth energies in these places too. So it's fairly balanced, I would say, but I would like to see some more water, and I think that's really what we're looking for now. And the Rabbit Spirit, I think it's kind of the rabbits out here hunting for water, you know. But we're starting with our High Priestess. And this is, of course, the intuition. So this week, Leo, is a good time for you to slow down and listen to that inner voice, listen to that guidance, because there's something that's hidden, there's something that you're not seeing, there's something that maybe, you know, we feel sort of tied up in this tangle of Christmas lights, you know, and we're looking for the answer, we're looking for the path, we're trying to know what's the next step to take that's going to lead me to my best life. Look right behind the High Priestess. What's right behind her? All those pomegranates. And to me, that's the Empress. To me, that is the sweetness of Big Rock Candy Mountain. That's your paradise. That's your Emerald City. That's your best. That's the good life, okay? Your intuition is always trying to lead you to your good life. What it requires is surrender, faith, hope, and trust. Requires you to be the Hanged Man. So in some sense, I think a lot of you have been trying too hard, and your intuition might be telling you, just go with the flow, just take things as they come, just continue with that Eight of Pentacles, patience and prudence, and, you know, the continued effort day after day, but don't hurry anything. Don't rush it. No brute force right now. Your general energy is a Five of Wands. So a lot of you might be feeling like, if I just push harder, it's going to work. Maybe not. Maybe the High Priestess is saying, ease down, Ripley. All right. So pay attention to your dreams, your signs, symbols, and, you know, synchronicities in your life. Pay attention to your intuition and your subtle feelings. They're going to point you toward what you need to know. So this week, make some quiet time. Create some space for reflection, for meditation, for prayer, for whatever you do to kind of tune in to that inner voice, okay? Because I think when, you know, with this patience and what we're seeing here, with the Eight of Pentacles is your patience is going to allow your mind to sort of stop its rumination and is going to allow this wisdom, this inner wisdom to naturally rise up. Okay? But look for the meanings. Look for look for what your body, your heart, and your intuition are sort of pointing to. When you take your conscious mind out of the way, when you can get out of that rumination loop of the Eight of Swords, what's the message? What's the information? What is the message that's coming to the foreground? Okay, trust that inner guidance above all the other noise. We've got to quiet down some of that noise. So it's really a good week for us to practice that and to learn to listen to our intuition more. I think this is a week where your intuition is speaking very loudly because it's trying to bring you, it's trying to lead you on to a real win. Okay? And I think that I think the win is overdue. Okay? Now, we also have the Eight of Swords. Of course, you can't have your intuition without your conscious mind getting in the way, right? It happens to all of us. This is a figure eight. We're looping back in with our thoughts on the same subject, the same topic, the same question, the same dilemma. I keep looking at the same details. It's like we're trying to figure out what to do. We keep looking at the same paperwork, you know, and it's just, I can't figure it out, so I'm just going to pick up that stack of papers again, and I'm going to look at the same stack of papers because maybe there's something in there that I've missed, you know. And I'm sure you've had experiences like that where we're not really sure what to do or what to make of something, or we're not sure if we really even understand everything yet. So we just take it again and we look at it again. And I'm just kind of seeing like just a stack of papers. It's like, well, I'm just going to read the papers again, you know. And it could be a message coming in in the mail or in your email or something. So you're just going to keep looking at it to try to make sense of what's going on and try to figure out, well, what to do next. But there's really nothing else in that document for you, you know. I had experienced like this recently. One of my other channels got shut down from YouTube. Tarot Logic is temporarily, I hope, fingers crossed, taken down from YouTube. And I got the email, and I'm just looking through the email over and over and over again because I'm thinking, I don't understand why that happened, you know. And so, you know, you appeal and you open up a dialogue, hopefully, with YouTube, and we can get it sorted out. But, you know, it's just that impulse to continue looking at the documents, continue reading the email and see, well, did I miss something? Or like, well, I don't understand really what's going on. Ultimately, we do. But, you know, the Eight of Swords is that feeling of being trapped or limited because it's almost like we feel kind of helpless. There's really nothing we can do. And so we're sort of spinning our wheels and you're ruminating on something. So this may be a week where you kind of have that feeling, and the best thing to do is to make some quiet time for reflection, and your inner guidance will rise up, okay? There may be some barriers to your, you know, to your path right now. There may be, basically with this card, limited options. It may be that there's really only one pathway available to you. There's only one way to free yourself from this, and it seems obvious. It's just kind of like the only thing you can do is lean up against one of these swords and try to free your hands. Not much else you can really do. And so there may be a little bit of fear, a little bit of doubt, but freedom is within reach with this card, okay? Maybe that we need a new perspective. We need to listen to the guidance of that intuition, that high priestess, and that new perspective will help us to figure out the right move to make at this time. There could be a lot of worry with this card. And so taking a small step is going to really, you know, kind of just make us feel better. There's no water in the reading right now, you know? So I feel like we would like to feel better about things. But right now it feels like our options are very limited. So just doing anything that you feel is kind of productive right now That's why, the old cliche, when someone's about to have a baby, they just tell the husband, or, they tell go boil some water or something, right? And the joke is that it's just to keep them out of there, right? So that they're not just getting nervous and making everybody else anxious. It's just like, go boil a pot of water. And I always heard that was just to keep the dad busy, I don't know, maybe there's a reason why they needed boiling water, maybe for sterilization or something like that. I don't know. But it's kind of funny anyway. But I feel like this is that card that just says, just go do something to keep yourself occupied so that you don't dwell on something. And maybe by distracting ourselves, the intuition will have a chance to show us what we need to see. All right? Because I think there is some sort of doubt or confusion about something, or there's some situation for you, for a lot of you, that kind of feels like we're just waiting on something, or that there's no real option for us at the moment. There's nothing that we can do to really make things any better, okay? But we do have the Four of Wands under the surface. And the Four of Wands is a card of completion. So something is being resolved, okay? Something is going to be concluded or completed. And I think that rabbit spirit is really coming into play now. Because I think it's basically spirit saying, look, don't do anything. Just go and occupy yourself doing something else so that you're not stewing over this. And good luck is on its way to you. And something will be resolved. This is a card of a celebration. This is a card of a milestone. There's joy and harmony available to you with this card, okay? For some of you, it may be something going on at home or with family. This is a card of kind of a welcome home energy, okay? It may be a good time to sort of stop and recognize the progress, to see how far you've actually come, to recognize that. And I feel like this is a kind of a card that's saying, there's nothing you can do, go rest, And we have the Five of Wands here too, so your general energy is fight, 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 push, push, strive, and go do battle. But it may be that your intuition right now is trying to tell you, just go home, rest, do something else. Okay? Just stay in the comfort of your community and the safety of your people. Sometimes this is the card that says we're going to retreat. Retreat is not a bad thing. We get retreat in the I Ching all the time. And because the I Ching is very wise and says sometimes the right way forward is backwards. Sometimes the right way to go fast is to go slow. Sometimes the right way to make progress is to be like water. And water is just going to seek its level right now. So settling in somewhere. So I think it's a good time for us to say, if there's nothing that I can really do right now, I should just kind of do nothing. Maybe we're just going to stay home, we're just going to tinker around the house, We'll do other things just to keep ourselves busy so we don't stew. We'll go boil water. And I think that's what your intuition is sort of telling you. That right now is a time not to actively fight and push forward because there's really nothing we can do. So it's almost like we're just going to make things worse. So maybe we do nothing, and that is the best thing, okay? To not interfere with the process, so to speak. Because the Eight of Swords is a card literally called interference, okay? So it may be that right now something, for a lot of you, has interfered with your path, with your progress, okay? Something unexpected, something unfair has come in and just sort of complicated things. It's best to just leave it alone and not engage it, because if we engage it, maybe it's likely to stay longer. So it's kind of like just, hands off. Now, how does this relate to my dilemma right now? Well, you do what you can. I hit the little button that says appeal. And now there's nothing more I can do. I literally can't do anything else. So we wait. We distract ourselves with I'm going to go boil water. Okay? Because I think the 5 and the 4 is saying that, look, you've already done as much as you can. Now's a good time to wait. But I do feel like the 4 is kind of this card that's saying, look, it's going to be resolved. Something is going to You're going to reach the conclusion. It is going to be a celebration this week, but it's kind of like there's nothing you can do to usher that in. Whatever tasks you could have performed, you've done them. So now it's just kind of rest and wait, and I think that lucky rabbit spirit is on its way to you. Okay, I think it's a lucky time. Don't interfere, and don't try to do anything else, because I think right now there's really nothing more that you can do. Now, with the Lover's card back here, I feel like for some of you there is it may be a family issue, it may be an issue in your relationship, but the Lover's card is not always about a relationship, you know that. The Lover's card is a card of choice. And it's saying that, maybe right now you feel like there are no choices available to you. Remember, the Eight of Swords is kind of like there's not a lot of options, okay? For some of you, I think the Lover's card here is about a deepening of a relationship or a revelation about what truly matters to you. And it may be in whatever situation you're in, you should rely on your person, rely on your family or your friends or your inner circle of people, okay? But this is also a card of, honest communication, okay? Being vulnerable. This is a card primarily of choice, of commitment. It kind of feels as if we have married ourselves to something, and there is now something interfering with that relationship. Does not have to be an actual marriage or a romantic relationship. Put your pitchforks and your torches away. This could be your commitment to your job or your art or yourself or your spiritual practice or your best friend or the business that you're running or the skill that you've learning. Like, I feel like you've married yourself to something. Okay, so it's not as if you're just going to walk away from this. And it's kind of like you're here, you've committed to this, and this is staying, but there's something that's interfering with the progress. There's something that we're overthinking. Okay? This is the card of choice. And it may be that you have this choice before you right now to align with your heart. Okay? So I think some of you are still kind of considering whether or not to say yes to something. This is the card of the 1000% heck yes. And it may be that this choice is still on the table for you. And you're having a difficult time with the Eight of Swords making the choice. I think if you go boil some water, your intuition will tell you what choice to make. This could be a work choice. It could be a choice of like what job to take or what project to start. It could be the choice of what partner to get involved with, or what what sport to learn or what musical instrument to start learning. Or it could be a choice of destinations for some of you. But it's asking you to align with what feels true and what feels real for you. Maybe the Eight of Swords is saying we're having a difficult time choosing something. Your intuition. Don't worry about your logic, because I think with the Eight of Swords, in this case, the Eight of Swords is going to be overthinking, over-analysis. That we have this choice before us. Do I do this or do I do this? So you're getting out the calculator and the slide ruler. You're making the Venn diagram. You're making the pros and cons list. And you're not any closer to making a decision, We could think about it until the cows come home, and we're still going to say, I don't know. So at some point, we have to just say, I'm going to go boil some water. The answer will come to me. Okay? So I feel like for a lot of you, by the end of the week, if you stop thinking about it so much, the answer will come to you by the end of the week. Okay? By Sunday, let's say, or let's say by Saturday night, the answer will come to you. And you'll know what choice to make. But only if you're able to tune out some of that overthinking energy. Go boil water so that you're not thinking, you're not spinning your wheels. Okay? And then the answer will come. And I think it's not so much an intellectual question. It's a question of heart. It's a question of what really resonates with you. So I feel like for a lot of you, that choice is still on the table and you need to make that choice. For some of you, this is a choice that you've already made, and now there seems to be some kind of interference or some kind of complication. Maybe it's making you second guess your choice. Let's not do anything now. Let's not think about it too much. Let's not overanalyze it. Let's not make it too complicated. Let's wait till the end of the week and see what the intuition may tell us. So in the meantime, you have your Four of Wands, but you have your Eight of Pentacles. So in the meantime, it kind of says business as usual. Continue doing what you're doing. Continue doing quality work. Stay patient. Maybe this is you off doing something else so that you don't overthink it. Okay? We have an 8 and an 8. Yeah. So instead of overthinking something, let's just get to work and start doing something. This is a dedication to your craft. This is, your skills will improve with practice, not with too much study. This may be study and this may be practice. At some point, you can't keep reading the same book. You have to get out there and actually do the thing. You could watch a bunch of YouTube videos about jiu-jitsu, but until you actually go out there and start working on it, you're not going to get better, okay? This is hard work. This is focus. This is discipline and patience that are going to lead to steady growth. So, whatever you're doing in life right now, keep doing it and try not to think too much about it. I think that there's also another message here. Because with the 8 and the 8, it's kind of saying, and when we're first starting out on some project or task or learning a new skill, and I talked about this the other day with juggling as the metaphor. You're going to be very attentive to every movement, everything you're doing. You're painting a picture. You're going to say, okay, this is the exact brush. I need to mix this color here. My brush stroke has to be just like this. I got to use this kind of canvas. This is how my arm should move. Like everything's going to be very meticulously analyzed. Okay? And at first, it's going to be very slow because you're going to be paying, like if you're teaching somebody to drive a car. I guess last year now, I was teaching my niece how to drive a car. It's very meticulous. Okay, your foot goes there, hands go here. Now you let your foot slowly off the brake, and you look ahead, check your mirrors, and then you slowly feel the car moving forward, and you keep your hands on, and it's very like every little muscle is like you're paying attention to every finger placement. It's like when you're learning guitar, right? Every little finger is so meticulously analyzed, and it's so slow, the process. But once you really get going, you're not even thinking about it. I remember reading a book, Robbie Krieger from The Doors used to think about his fish at home when he was up on stage playing guitar. He'd be thinking about his fish at his house or his whatever apartment. And I always thought that was funny. And that to me is like, that really is like a mastery mindset. When it's like, you've already done all the work to learn something so deeply that it's second nature, that you're just going to be up there doing it and you could be thinking about whatever you want to be thinking about. Your mind is elsewhere, And I think some of you are building up to that point with some skill that you're learning. And that's what this card is about. We're refining something. We're paying attention to the details so that we can get good at it. And then we get a 3 of Pentacles too. To me, this is recognition now for what you've done. Some of you are becoming that sort of, master. Some of you are working very hard on a particular skill or art or craft. And very soon you're going to, your skills are going to be noticed by others. And you're going to find that there is value for other people in the skills that you have. So some of you are practicing something that you're going to go make some good money doing, okay? Whether this is a school thing, maybe you're in some kind of a trade school, or you're an artisan, or you do some sort of craft, or it's like your Etsy, or it's your YouTube, or it's whatever. Maybe it's guitar, I don't know. But the 3 of Pentacles is that sort of recognition, okay? Taking pride in your work and being recognized and noticed for your craftsmanship, okay? And so I think a lot of you are being that meticulous in something that you're doing, and that's another way of looking at the Eight of Swords here, okay? Paying attention to every little detail until you reach a point where it's, your skills are really developing here. And I think you're approaching that level of mastery. It could be our Emperor over here as well. So I think really good stuff coming with these cards for a lot of you also, yeah? I want to do a quick manifestation oracle card before we move on to our Five of Wands. And here, oh, there it is. We have seeing the beauty. Complex patterns align to create great beauty when you see clearly. And it says, I visualize the divine plan. I visualize the divine plan. I like that. Because I think that you need to know, you need to know the bigger picture. You need to know where you're going, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. And then I think right now, Spirit, I think, is telling a lot of you to just don't force it. Just allow it to flow. For some of you that have that choice that needs to be made, or there's that interference that's happening with something, I think the message is clear. The intuition is saying right now, just ease down. Don't try to force it. Continue doing the things that you know are working. Okay? Don't try to push beyond anything right now. Just if it's working, just practice what you've already been practicing, kind of thing. Just refine, work on what we've already been doing, and keep it going. Yeah. So the Five of Wands then is this competitive energy that you're feeling. This may be tension. Okay, this may be something that you feel is testing your patience. The Eight of Pentacles, yes, is really advising patience, meticulous care for what is already kind of working. Maybe even saying, let's distract ourselves from whatever the confusion is so we can listen to our intuition. There may be different opinions right now. There may be clashing energies and this kind of conflict that's going on, okay? And I think that you might find your intuition is telling you you don't need to enter into those conflicts. That there really isn't anything to be gained from fighting against something right now. So don't waste your energy in any pointless battles. It's kind of like saying, don't go out there and fight and get all upset and burn a lot of calories. Four of Wands says, just go home, just do what you know has been working, do things with kind of, I almost feel like it's not low effort, but it's like low intensity. This is kind of like a heightened intensity. So, focus on the things that you can do, the things that do matter right now. Don't fight against anything that feels oppositional. Channel your fiery energy right now into, the healthy Eight of Pentacles, maybe healthy outlets, so that you don't either interfere more with what's going on, make things worse, or so that you don't end up feeling worse yourself because you're fighting, and it's kind of it's almost like a battle that you can't win, but only by disengaging is that luck going to happen and things are going to turn out, things are going to go your way. And I think that really is the message of the Hanged Man as well. It's kind of like saying hands off right now is going to bring in the best energy. It's going to bring you the win. Okay, finally going to bring that win. The Emperor is a card of self-control primarily, right? So it's saying the Emperor doesn't always have to fight. The Emperor is like a good Emperor at least, right? Is not going to be dragged into every battle that comes along. That'd be a very bad Emperor, right? So this is you creating, structure, order, and clear direction in your life, stepping into maybe a leadership position, but leading yourself and realizing that, okay, I've got the authority, I've got the executive power to say I'm fighting or I'm staying home. Discipline, routine, right? That's going to be the way forward for you. Go, just keep doing your day and just try to keep things as normal as possible. And your intuition will guide you. And the rabbit spirit will enter the situation and will resolve things in a way that is advantageous for you, but only if you don't interfere. So this is the card of saying, I can maintain my routine. The discipline here is important because your impulse is to just fight, just like I want to wild out and fight, you know. Discipline is saying, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be provoked. Okay? That if a situation feels like it's poking you, don't react to it. Don't engage. If there are people around you that are trying to pull you into a battle, don't do it. Your strength and your discipline allows you to not be provoked. Okay? You're protecting what you've already built, first of all. Okay? So this is about consolidating, protecting what's there, continuing to do what's working, maintain the routine. Don't get drawn into chaos. The Five of Wands seems to be like something instigating some chaos for you. So protect what you have. Make decisions right now that are very responsible, especially when it comes to other people outside of your kind of core group. Okay? Show authority through wisdom, not through force, not by having to go and sort of say, yeah, I'm tough, I'm going to go and fight. No. You're tough because you're not provoked. You're strong because other people can't just like get a reaction out of you whenever they want, you know? You're leading by example, and I think that's going to be a really positive force. And also, for some of you, this is that card of mastery, that it is saying through your discipline and your refinement and your dedication to your craft, you are becoming a boss. For some of you, this diagonal line here is going to be you're learning a new skill, and you're realizing the value of it. You're going to start really, doing it for money. It's like it's a good time to start a new business based on some sort of art or craft. It may be a side hustle that becomes the main hustle. It may be something that, you're sort of naturally good at, but something that you've been refining over the years, and now you're realizing that, okay, I'm gonna do it, semi-professionally, and I'm gonna start making some money with it. Okay, so I think that's a really nice flow of energy too. Seeing the beauty, seeing the bigger picture, seeing that divine plan is gonna be a good idea. And the Emperor can see the bigger picture. The Emperor can see the divine plan, visualize it literally. Okay, literally visualize it. Now, the Ace of Wands is also part of this energy too, because this is a really good week for getting inspired. It's really a good week for, for that fresh idea to realize the opportunity that you have. So for some of you, this is going to be a card that says, there's something that you're naturally good at, something that you have an interest in already. What would happen if you started developing this natural talent or natural interest? What would happen if you started developing that and refining that skill or that craft or that art form? Maybe it's something that you're going to begin, and it's going to turn into a very lucrative business. This is a very enterprising card, and of course the Emperor is the entrepreneur. So for some of you, this is a week where you're getting that inspiration to start maybe a new project or a new business or a new enterprise. That new enterprise, if you refine it and you learn to kind of, you learn its value and you learn how to sort of, package it, it could really start making some money for you. The Lover's card then is basically saying that this new enterprise will only work if it really aligns with your heart. That Ace of Wands says it has to be something that you already enjoy, or something that you sort of, something that you have a natural interest in, or an inclination toward, or there's already a talent there, or there's already some sort of precedent that says, that makes sense that I would do this, okay? It's a good time for starting something like that. But it's going to require a lot of hard work. It's going to require that you refine that craft. And that, of course, is the only reason why this is going to work, is because if you already like it, or you have that inclination toward it, or you have that natural talent for it, you're more likely to endure the sacrifices and the suffering and the hanged man energy that will be required for you to actually get good at something. Okay, that's why the Ace of Wands says it's going to be more successful if it's something that you naturally like or you enjoy or something you're naturally good at. Because then you're willing to put in all of the blood, sweat, and tears that the Hanged Man needs to put in order to really make something successful. Okay. So for some of you that are considering a new business, this is going to be a really good week for that. Or considering, starting a new project, you realize that it's going to take patience, it's going to take time. You're going to have to, really pay attention to the details and refine that that skill or that craft or that art form. But you will be recognized for your skills, and I think it really could turn into a business for you. So in terms of money, really a good situation here, good set of energies. Whatever the Eight of Swords is for you and that Lover's card, I feel like the Hanged Man is really the way to go here. It may feel this week like things are on hold. Okay, the Eight of Swords and the Hanged Man. Use the time now to explore some of these other things. It's kind of like the Ace of Wands is like, go boil the water. Well, maybe not boil water, but go do something. Go distract yourself. And maybe you'll find that there's something really promising in one of those distractions, okay? It may be a good time to view your situation from a different perspective. If something feels blocked now, maybe leaving it alone for a while to kind of be guided by your intuition. Maybe your intuition is telling you, I need to go explore some other things. Maybe getting that different perspective is going to help you to identify that new idea or gain that new perspective or that inspiration. It's going to, kind of give you a plan for the side business or the side hustle or the other project to do or whatever it is, right? So the Hanged Man is also kind of letting go of control and letting things happen naturally. So again, with our Eight of Swords and the Four of Wands, like, don't interfere, hands off, don't touch it. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. You go do something else in the meantime. And maybe that other something else is gonna be very promising, okay? So it's also a card of sacrifice and suffering. So for those of you that are considering starting a business or something this week or beginning that process, you know that to make it successful, it's gonna require a lot of suffering and a lot of sacrifice. And a lot of patience, and a lot of endurance, and a lot of discipline and a lot of routine. Well, if it's something that you enjoy doing and you have a natural talent for, you're more likely going to put in this work. This is the blood, sweat, and tears that you're putting into something, okay? This is a card that says, release the need for quick results. Release the need to meddle or interfere with something. Just accepting the situation and the Eight of Swords, accepting that I don't see the answer right now. There's not a lot of options that I can take right now. I'm just going to accept that. I know that Spirit will guide me. I know that my intuition will guide me. And it could be that the blockage that you feel with that Eight of Swords, your intuition is kind of like leading you to this Ace of Wands that says there's something really cool for you to see that you wouldn't have seen unless you got this roadblock. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is like kind of a lucky time, because it's only when you're in the Eight of Swords position that then you might be exploring this Ace of Wands. And I feel like that's really a nice coincidence, and that's really a stroke of good luck. Okay, let's look at the mystery card. I think this should be a win. I want to see something very successful. I want to see that the Four of Wands is real, and that there is a resolution coming, that there is progress, there is movement forward, there is still potential here, and that things are going to be resolved in a way that is advantageous for you. So I want to see a 6 of anything right now, or a 9 or a 10 of Pentacles. Let's see what we have. Well, it's a Knight of Swords. Interesting. Because the Knight of Swords is kind of like saying, I'm rushing forward without much of a plan. That I don't know what to do right now, but I'm just going to do anything at all. I'm going to do something, you know. I think that this card could get you in trouble because sometimes when we're in this sort of a position and we feel like there's not a lot of options right now, I don't know what to do exactly. And then this card is just kind of like just picking a direction at random and running forward. Okay? And that might be really leading us into chaos. That might be like we're trying to force something. Okay? So this card really is like, you know, it's saying that this is kind of an impulse toward fast movement, bold action. There's determination, but we have to make sure we're going in the right direction before charging ahead. Impulsive things are going to cause conflict right now. So another card that's kind of saying, we might want to pause. This is someone who's rushing into battle, does not know if they're even headed in the right direction. Channel your energy into something meaningful, discipline. This is kind of like our mind, we need to say, whoa. Saying, I'm not going to rush. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. I'm not going to leap into any particular pathways because I don't know the right thing right now. The mind has a tendency to do that, okay? Well, consciousness does, you know what I mean? Like when we're overthinking something and we're sort of tangled up in these wires, we kind of just feel like it doesn't matter what I do as long as I'm doing something, right? But I think right now this is going to lead to more conflict. You're going to plunge right into unnecessary chaos. So hold this back. No impulsive words or decisions, no leaping into anything, no picking a road just because I'm tired of standing at the crossroads, you know. So we just kind of blindly just pick a direction and say, I'm just going to run that way. That might not be the smartest move right now. So instead of doing that, bide your time. Work on something that you need to work on right now. Luck is entering the situation. The answer will be revealed to you. Your intuition will guide you in the right direction. Okay? Things will clear up, things will resolve, and movement will be restored. Right now, the Hanged Man is saying, I'm just going to literally hang out here and do something else that I know is going to be productive, and maybe I'll even get inspired to start something new that, you know, is going to turn out to be very lucrative. So anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. There's a join button right there. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do oracle cards. We will clarify love and money. And we'll spin the yes/no coin. Leo, I thank you, I love you, and we are all in this together.